Hello everyone. In our last video we have discussed about electrostatic potential and electrostatic potential difference, or simply electric potential or electric potential difference. So let me just recall it. Electric potential is nothing but the work done against the electric field of some given charge in order to bring a unit positive charge, one unit positive charge from infinity to some point within the electric field of the given source charge or point charge. So that is the electric potential, work done on one unit of charge against the electric field of the given charge, right? And what is electric potential energy? It is not of much difference from the electric potential. Electric potential energy, it is the amount of work done on given amount of charge, whatsoever amount of charge, not one unit but any amount of charge. So that total amount of work done on the given charge in order to bring it from infinity to a point within the electric field of some given charge against the electric field. Okay, so that work is called as the electrostatic potential energy, or in other way you can say that it is the electric potential energy is defined as the amount of work done on a given charge, whatsoever amount of it is. So that is the electrostatic potential energy. So it is the work done on a given charge in bringing it against the electric field of some point charge or source charge against the electric field of that charge, right? So that work is called as electric potential energy. You can compare this with the gravitational potential energy, in which whenever some object is moved against the gravitational force, whatever amount of work is done, it becomes the energy called as gravitational potential energy of that object at that point to which it is raised against the gravitational force. So is the case here. Suppose that we have a charge here, it is plus q1, right? So there is some electric field of this charge around the space, right? If we are bringing some charge from infinity to a point, let it be point is A, this is at point O, this is at point A, and this charge is, for example, q2 of any amount, not necessarily to be 1 unit. It is of any amount, q2 charge. We are bringing q2 amount of charge to position A from infinity within the electric field of this given charge, right? q1. So this distance is, for example, r. Then the work done on, on the given charge. How much work is done on the given charge q2? This we can write as W is equal to, what is the amount of work done? This is equal to work done on a unit charge, as we have discussed in electric potential. So what is the amount of work done on 1 unit of charge multiplied by the amount of charge we are having, which is q2. So that is as simple. So what is the amount of work done against the electric field of this charge q1 on 1 unit of charge multiplied by the total amount of charge we are bringing from infinity, right? So that is the total amount of work done on the given charge q. So from here this turns out to be work done on the unit charge. You know it to be already 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 upon r. So this is the work done on 1 unit of charge, as we have discussed earlier, into what is the amount of charge we are having, q2. So we can simply write it as work done is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into q1 q2 upon r, where r is the distance between q1 and q2, right? So this is the total amount of work done on given amount of charge. Now whatever work we do against a force, an equal amount of potential energy gets stored in that charge at that position R, right? So therefore the potential electric potential energy is given by U, which is equal to the amount of work done on the charge. So this is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 upon R. So this is the electric potential energy or electrostatic potential energy. You can write it as simply U is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 upon R. So that is the simple definition of a electric potential energy, and the expression for the electric potential energy of a charge which is being brought from infinity to a point within the electric field of some another charge Q1. So we can also call this energy as the electrostatic potential energy of a system of two charges Q1 and Q2, which are placing here. So that is also the way to understand this potential energy. We can also write the expression from the very same expression. We can also write the expression for the electrostatic potential energy due to three charges, right? Whenever we try to bring three charges into their respective positions, right? Suppose that initially there is no charge in the space general expression for the potential energy is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 upon R, right? Okay. So suppose that initially in this space there is no charge and hence there is no electric field. Now we are talking about bringing the three charges, for example. First charge to be at position A, second charge to be at position B, and third charge to be at position C. Let us bring the very first charge. So first charge we have to bring from infinity to position A. Now because there is no electric field whenever we are bringing the first charge Q1, so we have brought Q1 charge here. So what is the amount of work done? Because work done, it is equal to line integral of electric field over the length, right? From infinity to some given position R. Now because electric field is already 0, because there was no charge already present, hence electric field at point A or in this space is 0. Hence the work done turns out to be 0. So there is no need to do the work for charge Q1, or work done on charge in bringing the charge Q1 from infinity to point A is 0. Okay, because there is no electric field which can oppose the work, hence no need to spend the energy. So we can say that for bringing charge Q1 at A, so work done in bringing charge Q1, so we write it as W1, this is equal to 0. Now let us bring the charge, second charge to position B. Now second charge which are bringing, for example Q2, we are bringing the charge, second charge Q2 from infinity to position B. Now this position B is lying within the influence of this first charge Q1, right? So we have to do the work against the electric field of this charge which is already existing there. So in order to bring this charge plus Q2 to its position B within the electric field of first charge Q1, the amount of work done in bringing second charge against the electric field of the first charge. So for bringing charge Q2 at B, so it is W21. I am writing it as W2, work done on charge 2 in bringing it from infinity to position B against the electric field of the first charge, right? So this is given by, we can write this expression as or this becomes the potential energy. U1, you can write it as U1 and this one as U21. So it is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 upon R. If the distance of second charge from the first one is R12, the distance of this point P from A is R12, so you can simply write it as R12 to differentiate this distance from the other. So that is the only thing. This be equation number 1, equation number 2. And what is the amount of work done or potential energy in bringing the charge Q3 from infinity to position C, in bringing charge Q3 at C. Now because Q3 charge, whenever we try to bring the Q3 charge from infinity to position C, now this position C, it is lying under the influence of electric field of the two charges, Q1, the electric field of charge Q1 and the electric field of charge Q2. So the total energy, it will be the sum of the potential energy due to the work done against the electric field of charge Q1 and work done against the electric field of charge Q2. So there will be two components of the potential energy, or we can say the work has to be done against the two electric fields. So let us write the expression for the first potential energy against the electric field of charge Q1. So whenever we bring the charge Q3 at position C, then we can write that work done on charge 3 due to the electric field of charge 1. So that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 and Q3, because these are the two charges involved, divided by distance between them. So for the distance, we can write the symbol R13. So R13. This is equation number 3. And also, while we are bringing the charge Q3 to point C, we are also doing the work against the electric field of charge Q2. So we can also write the expression for the potential energy on charge, stored on charge 3 Q3 due to work done against the charge Q2. So this is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q2 Q3 upon R23. This be equation number 4. So there is no, okay, so this distance R23 from the second charge. So this is R23, you can write it as. So whenever we bring all these three charges to their respective positions A, B and C, the total potential energy stored is the sum of all the potential energies of charge 1, of charge 2 and of charge 3. So therefore U, the total potential energy, it is the sum which is U1 plus U21 plus U31 plus U2, 32. So whenever we sum all these, first one is 0 already, we can substitute U21, U31 and U32. So these are the values. You can take something common which is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught and write inside the bracket what is left. So it is Q1 Q2 upon R12 plus Q1 Q3 upon R13 plus Q2 Q3 upon R23. So this is the total potential energy of a 3-point charge system. We can also write it in generalized form, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into summation, because there are two values which are changing. So it is Qi and Qj upon Rij, where I comma j goes from 1 to 3. I also goes from 1 to 3, j also goes from 1 to 3. But I cannot be equal to j, because 1 cannot be equal to 1. One charge cannot do the work on itself, right? So that term we will drop. Apart from that, there will be total number of 6 terms because there will be 6 combination. However, we have only 3. So to eliminate the extra number of terms which will be similar, we divide the whole value by 2 while we generalize the result. So this is the general expression for the total potential energy, electric potential energy of a 3-point charge system. We can also have n number of charges. So we can simply write the expression in the similar way up to n. All other terms remains same. So this is about electric potential energy. Electric potential energy is nothing but the total work done on the given amount of charge, whatsoever value of it is, against the electric field of some given charge, right? So that work done becomes an equal amount of potential energy gets stored on that charge which is brought. So that is the simple relation for the electrostatic potential energy. You can compare the very same concept with the gravitational potential energy. Next thing is about what happens when a electric dipole it is placed in a uniform electric field. We know what happens. The electric field, suppose that it is along this direction, and this is the electric field, and we have some electric dipole. So whenever electric dipole is placed in such a way that the angle between the dipole and the electric field is theta, or we can say the dipole moment and electric field are at angle theta with respect to each other. Dipole is supposed to be of length 2L, for example. This is the length of the dipole. Then electric field exert the force on the charges of this dipole. Positive charge, it moves along the electric field with a force F is equal to Q into E, whereas the negative charge, it gets pulled against the electric field with an equal amount of force. So because force is same but direction is opposite, so we write it as F is equal to minus Q into E. So this force and this force acting on the two charges will be same because the electric field is uniform. So the net force, of course, the net force, electrostatic force will be 0 because the two forces are equal in magnitude and in direction they are opposite. So net force will be 0 whenever the dipole is in uniform electric field. But net force is 0, but there is some torque that acts on this electric dipole, and that torque is already given by, we already know it, it is to be P into E into sine of theta. We know this expression for the torque exerted by the electric field. This torque is exerted by the electric field on a dipole of moment P, which is inclined at an angle theta with the electric field. Suppose that we displace this dipole, we rotate this dipole by small angle d theta against the dipole, against the torque exerted by the electric field. The torque will be along this direction, so we are doing the work against it by for angular displacement of d theta, very small angle d theta. Suppose that it gets displaced to some new position, so that this angle becomes d theta, right? Then small amount of work done for d theta, this angular displacement against torque by electric field E. So therefore small amount of work done in doing this much of angular displacement against the torque exerted by the electric field, it is given by tau into angular displacement d theta. So the amount of work done, this is given by P into E into sine theta d theta. we substitute the value of this torque. We have to do apply at least this much amount of torque in order to do this displacement. So therefore, if we want to displace the dipole from its initial position θ1 to some final position θ2 against the torque of the electric field, then the total amount of work done is given by integration of all such small amounts of work done from θ1 up to θ2. So this simply gives us P into E into sine theta d theta from θ1 up to θ2. So θ1, θ2 are nothing but the initial and final angle. For example, initially the dipole is at an angle θ1 and torque is this much. Then we are displacing it to some new position, making angle θ2. So this angle is θ2. Now the dipole is making an angle θ2. So initial position is θ1, final position is θ2. We are doing the work against the torque exerted by the electric field. So therefore, the amount of work done P and E, these are constants because P, the dipole moment of dipole, remains same as electric field is uniform. Integration of sine theta d theta as the value of theta goes from θ1 to θ2. From here, the total amount of work, it takes the form P into E into integration of this sine is minus cos of theta, where limits goes from θ1 up to θ2. When we substitute the limits, we get this result P into E into cos of θ1 minus cos of θ2. So this is the total amount of work done whenever we try to rotate a dipole in the uniform electric field against the torque exerted by the electric field. So whatever amount of work we do, equal amount of energy gets stored. So therefore, equal amount of energy gets stored in the dipole in the form of potential energy, right? So the electric potential energy of the dipole becomes the amount of work done on it, which is P into E into cos θ1 minus cos θ2. So this is the total potential energy of an electric dipole being worked on against the torque of the electric field. We can also take the special case that suppose initially the dipole, this is the electric field, suppose that initially the dipole, it is at right angle, right? So it is the right angle. So the dipole moment P, it is making an angle of 90 degree with the electric field. So we can say that initial angle is θ1. So θ1 becomes equal to 90 degree. And suppose that we give it θ2 any name, for example θ2 is equal to any angle, right? So therefore, the potential energy, this expression can, in this particular special case, we can write that potential energy, it is given by P into E into cos θ1, which is cos 90, minus cos θ2, which is any angle. So it is cos theta by which it is rotated. So that simply gives minus P into E, because cos 90 becomes 0. It is minus PE cos theta, which we can also write as this is equal to minus P cross, or we can say P dot E. So this is the special case for the electrostatic potential energy of a dipole. If on rotating the dipole becomes parallel to the electric field, the amount of work done is 0 and hence potential energy will be 0, because whenever dipole is parallel to the electric field, angle becomes 0 and hence the potential energy becomes minimum, not 0 but minimum. So it will be, in that particular case, for parallel, or let me write it as first case, whenever P is parallel to electric field, on rotating P becomes parallel to electric field, U becomes minus P into E, because theta becomes 0, so cos 0 remains 1, so it is simply minus PE. So it is the minimum value of potential energy that a dipole can have. And in second case, if it is rotated against the electric field or torque of the electric field and it becomes anti-parallel, so that P is anti-parallel to the electric field, so angle theta becomes 180 degrees, so potential energy is maximum. So it is minus P into E into cos 180 means minus 1, so minus minus cancels out, so simply we get P into P. So potential energy is maximum. So this is about electrostatic potential energy of a dipole. Thank you.